AI can generate a game environment in seconds. It can create textures instantly. So, should you still pursue game art? Let's talk about what's actually happening inside video game studios. If you're a student or junior artist right now, this may feel terrifying. You're spending years learning modeling, materials, lighting, and suddenly a tool appears that seems to skip the process. This is where the entire conversation usually goes wrong. AI generates images and videos. Games require systems. A game environment isn't a picture or a video. It's a modular, optimized, gameplay-driven system that must run at 60 frames per second, often in multiplayer. An AI image or video doesn't need collision, modularity, memory budgets, optimization, level streaming, gameplay metrics, or multiplayer synchronization. It doesn't need to function. It only needs to look convincing. Image cell illusion. Games deliver interactions. A game environment is not just meant to be pretty. It's a collection of modular assets, material systems, performance constraints, gameplay volumes, lighting scenarios, all working together. And every one of those parts has technical dependencies. This is a system designed for reuse, built for scalability, structured for iteration. AI doesn't design modular systems. It outputs flattened results. Now let's talk about performance. This AI world doesn't need to run at 60 frames per second. It doesn't need to render in real time. It doesn't need to exist in a multiplayer match with 12 players throwing explosives. AAA environments are built under strict performance budgets. Every texture resolution, every shader instruction, every draw call is measured. In multiplayer, environments must be deterministic. If a wall breaks, every player must see the same result. If lighting changes, it must remain consistent across clients. AI game world don't solve those problems. Games require predictability. This is the fundamental misunderstanding behind the fear. When people say AI can already make environments, what they really mean is AI can already generate convincing pictures and videos. But video game development isn't about pictures and static videos. It's about building controllable, scalable systems that function inside a production pipeline. In AAA production, environment art involves modular design, memory budgets, material instancing, performance constraints, lighting consistency, collaboration with level design. AI does not replace pipeline understanding. Now let's be honest, AI is being used. Studios are experimenting with mood exploration, reference gathering, quick iteration, placeholder textures. That's for the most part. It is more of an augmentation than a replacement. Most example of concept art or anything directly touching the work of artists is usually deemed unusable by artists and is more of a waste of time than anything else now. Video game development is risk averse. Pipelines exist for stability, predictability, and collaboration. Anything that disrupts determinism, like unpredictable AI outputs, is carefully controlled. Studios don't want chaos. They want repeatable results. Here's the uncomfortable truth. If your skill set is limited to making pretty renders, creating standalone assets, or copying references, then yes, AI may be competing with you. But that was never the skill set studios were hiring for. Studios hire artists who can build modular kits, solve spatial problems, optimize materials, maintain visual consistency, collaborate across departments. Those are systems thinking skills. And AI currently does not replace systems thinking. The role of the artist is evolving. Instead of manually crafting everything, artists increasingly curate, refine, and integrate. Just like with photogrammetry 10 years ago, video game artists are still working, modeling, texturing, unwrapping, debugging, and polishing. New tools, no matter how advanced, will never replace artists. The AI hype around game development is mostly coming from investors who don't actually understand how games are built. They're reacting to flashy demos from startup CEOs. But building a real game environment isn't about generating a picture or a video. It's about building a playable system. And systems still need people who understand them. If you don't believe me, this is what the investors are all hyped about. Now, to be fair, this was posted by one investor. And it's a real thing, and I'm sure a lot of people watching this video have seen this trailer. So this was captioned as AI games will be amazing. Now, for anyone who has played games in their lives, this looks like an absolute mess. Nothing makes sense, and it's not on the superficial level. I understand that AI will improve, the textures, the hallucinations might get better, but this is very far from a video game. If you're learning from these videos but struggling to put everything together into a full environment, that's exactly why I built my full course. You'll build the entire scene step by step in real time, understanding composition, scale, materials, and lighting, so you can apply the same process to your own worlds. These environments were created by students using the same workflow you'll learn here. It's designed for artists who already know the basics and want to create portfolio-level work, not just isolated studies. This isn't about learning tools, it's about learning how professionals build environments. If that's where you're trying to get to, you can check it out in the description. Now let's talk about the part no one likes to say out loud. AI will eliminate certain tasks. Not jobs overnight, but tasks. Low-level, repetitive production work is the most vulnerable. Things like generating minor prop variations, creating background filler assets, early-stage visual exploration, basic material texture sets. These are execution-heavy tasks with low creative decision-making. Now here's the line most people miss. High-level environment construction still requires judgment. Deciding how to optimize destruction systems across a whole game, how to add material variations to similar assets, how to create shaders that can be reused on hundreds of assets. Those are not pattern generation problems. They are decision-making problems. AAA environment art is about structured decision-making. AAA development is constraint-driven. You're balancing memory budgets, lighting consistency, streaming limits, server stability, art direction continuity. AI can suggest options. It cannot take responsibility for trade-offs. When something breaks at 60 FPS, when lighting flickers in multiplayer, when a space feels confusing, someone has to understand why. and that someone is still a human. Now, this doesn't mean the industry stays the same. Entry-level production work may shrink. Studios may expect juniors to operate at a higher level sooner. The bar rises. But rising bars don't eliminate careers. They eliminate shallow skill set. Surface level skills are fragile. Systems thinking is durable. If your competitive edge is understanding production pipelines, modular workflows, material systems, optimization strategies, that's far harder to automate. AI doesn't remove the need for environment artists. What it actually does is change where the value is. Less in the manual work, more in the decisions. Composition, gameplay readability, performance, and the ability to turn thousands of assets into a world that actually works. Every major technological shift in game development has created fear. Photogrammetry, procedural generation. But each time the demand for skilled artists didn't disappear, it evolved. And I believe it increased. Will AI kill game art jobs? No. But it will absolutely eliminate shallow skill sets. The future belongs to artists who think like developers and keep the big picture in mind. Games are not videos. They are systems built by teams. And until AI can collaborate, negotiate constraints, and make production trade-offs, AAA still needs artists who understand how games are actually built. Stay tuned on the channel. Many topics relevant to breaking in a game industry will be covered. Let me know in the comments, what would you like to know? Real production habits, how to answer tricky interview questions, what other techniques might be good to show on your portfolio? I'll be happy to make a video on topics that might help many aspiring artists. Speaking of which, I'm giving away a portfolio checklist that gives many tips and directions on what to include on your portfolio, what not to forget, and basically what matters to hiring teams. So it's completely free. Check it out. The link is in the description. Shout out to the members of the channel, and you are all welcome to join. Additional perks will be added very soon.